Hello everyone, it's Imran Ali here and I'm from IPU TV. We are having with us Mr. Mario Galea. He is a parliamentarian from Malta. Hello sir, welcome.
Hello, thank you for the invitation.
Sir, it's your first time in Bangladesh?
Actually, it is my second time.
Second time, right.
I was here for Commonwealth Parliamentary Association conference in the 90s, if I recall well.
How do you find Bangladesh coming here at 136th IPU Assembly? How do you differentiate that time of Dhaka and this time of Dhaka, and what is your feeling after coming here?
Well, it's very evidently that you have done well. I mean, there is a marked difference from my first visit to the present visit. And I would say that you could see the difference in a positive way. Right. The infrastructure, the facilities, so there is a marked improvement from the 90s to this present visit. It's very evident for me.
Thank you very much. And one more thing, sir. You have been working as an observer of the electioneering process. Would you mind telling us, are you happy with the electioneering process of IPU and some other countries of the world, because there is a lack of democracy all over the world? How do you see this thing?
Well, actually, I would like to differentiate between democracy and elections, because when we go and observe elections, I observed elections in different parts of the world, mainly in emerging democracies, on behalf of the European Union and on behalf of the Commonwealth. And they also had teams of election observation, of election observers. Conducting genuine election is one thing, but then maintaining democracy is another thing, because the problem that we are facing is that we manage to conduct genuine elections in emerging democracies, for instance, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen. But then the problem is these countries do not have an experience with democracy, do not have a history of democracy. And I always consider democracy as a process, you know, as a learning process. I think every democratic country have passed through turbulent times. Democracy has to do with culture, has to do with tradition, and having genuine elections is one thing, but then maintaining democracy during the post-election era is another thing. And unfortunately, that is the area where we are failing, because you cannot impose democracy. If you look at what's going on in Libya, what went on in Afghanistan, what is going on in Iraq, what is going on in Libya, they had genuine elections, but the problem is that you cannot impose democracy. As I've told you before, it's a process. I think every country which has democracy and which practices democracy, even countries within the UPU, had their turbulent times, and I think it's a learning experience for these countries.
We know it very well that Malta is a very nice country. It has got a very good natural beauties all over the Malta, and it's a member of European Union as well. Yes. And Malta is comparably the least violent country, I would say, and in the European Union. But if we see on the other countries of European Union, there is so much violence, I mean ongoing violence, terror attacks and all of the stuff. How do you see, I mean, what is the suggestion for peace and security in European Union countries?
Well, thankfully Malta is very safe.
Right.
So far, because I mean, obviously you can never guarantee the future. But so far Malta is very safe. We have a population of 400,000, but then we have over 1 million tourists visiting Malta, and probably one of the reasons why people visit Malta, apart from the fact that we've got a beautiful island with beautiful Mediterranean Sea and a lot of history and culture as well. They visit Malta also because it is a safe country. Obviously, we are worried what happened in England and what's going on in Russia and what's going on in other parts of the world.
Even in France.
In France, yes. We have to keep a watchful eye of those which are today called lone wolves, which was the case of the Westminster attack, and I would like to express my solidarity and the solidarity of my country and my fellow parliamentarians with these countries. But so far Malta has been very, very peaceful. We did not have, thank God, no terror attack. And I think we're doing quite well. At the moment, Malta has the presidency also of the European Union, the presidency which started in January and will end in June. And I think as a country we're doing well.
Malta is very prominent in its social situation and economy. And yes, one of the agenda of IPO for this year is social and economic situation all over the world. How do you see this thing? I mean, what is the present scenario of European Union or the other countries of IPO as well?
Well, what we've did in Malta under the previous government, because at the moment I am in opposition, what we've did in Malta, the only resource that we have, apart the beauty of the island, is obviously the human resources. So we prepared our people for certain investments which we managed to bring in Malta, mainly the financial sector, pharmaceutical sector, maintenance of aeroplanes, and a few others. And I think what we've did is that we've collaborated with our education system to ensure that we've got people who have the expertise in order to work in this area of investment. And I think that is the reason why we're doing good as a country, because we found we have attracted these kind of investments. Obviously, we are very watchful of what's going to happen to UK, because we've got strong ties in UK, and obviously, as you know very well, there is the Brexit process going on. We get most of the tourists, a chunk of the tourists which come to Malta come from UK. So we are very watchful over there, because it's a new experience for England, but it's also a new experience for the European Union, because no other country, as you know, left the European Union before. So obviously, we have an eye on that as well, because what happens in UK will undoubtedly affect Europe, but also Malta. So we are very watchful what's going to happen. I think even the British people do not know what's going to happen, because voting for Brexit is one thing. And then after 2 years of negotiations, it's another thing what they're going to have. In fact, I was hearing Tony Blair a few days ago. He suggested something which looks interesting. Obviously, it's up to the British people to decide. What Tony Blair suggested is that voting for Brexit is one thing, but after 2 years of negotiations, we should go again to the British people and say, listen, this is the packet we have negotiated. Now, do you still want Brexit, or do you want to remain members of the European Union?